Hello. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make selections. So you should have already downloaded the Making Selections pizza file. I'm going to open that now. So I'm going to go to File, I'm going to go to Open. Then I'm going to find it. I know it's on my desktop. There it is right there. Yours could be in your downloads. Okay, so to start, you have two selection tools that you're going to be learning. The first one is going to be your marquee, your marquee selection tool. It could look like this elliptical marquee tool, single row, single column, or the rectangular marquee tool. This is usually the default when you first open Photoshop. So if I go here and I press M to find it, I'm just gonna scroll to the elliptical marquee. Okay, a couple of little tips. So I basically want to cut all these out and then move them to a new location. So I also need to create that new location. So I'm gonna go to File, I'm gonna go to New, and I'm just going to create, so I'm gonna we'll call this pizza. The width is 8 inches, the height is 8 inches, the resolution is 150, RGB color mode, white background, hit create. Now I have two tabs open. So notice that up at the top up here, I have my pizza, which is blank right now, and then I have my Making Selections document. So I can easily toggle between the two of these. Okay, so back to making a selection. So my elliptical marquee tool, what I'm going to do is, it doesn't matter what order I do these in, I just need to basically make the selection. So I'm gonna start with the cheese because it's the easiest. I just need a circle of it. To get a perfect circle, you just need to hold the Shift key down. So I'm just gonna hold this Shift key down, and I'm seeing that I can barely see this, but I'm gonna get a circle, I'm gonna keep it within the cheese. When I release it, and you'll see this better on your screen, hopefully, than I am on mine. But what you'll end up with is we call these marching ants, and it's basically your selection. So everything inside of those marching ants is what you are keeping. So I'm going to use the next tool I'm going to introduce is my Move tool. So that's the one directly to the left of the elliptical marquee. Looks like a set of arrows. So I'll click on that. I am going to, you'll notice that when I bring it over to my selection, a smaller arrow with a pair of scissors shows up, and I can now cut this out, okay? Now I am not releasing my mouse. I'm gonna take it up here, even though it's disappeared, okay? I can still see my mouse. I'm gonna take it to the tab up here. Then I have to bring it into this space before I can let it go, okay? If I don't do it that way, then it will just kind of get lost up into this like gray area. So please make sure you do not release that. Okay, I'm gonna do that again to another area. Let's go ahead and bring over the pepperoni. Now I'm gonna show you another kind of something that you can do. Make sure your left hand is kind of hovering over your keyboard. But if I press the Alt key right in the middle of my pepperoni and put my mouse right there, if I click and drag out, you'll notice that it basically locks it to a corner, okay? Now, if I do something like that and I don't like it, if I do something and it's just in the wrong location, what I can do is press Control and the letter D to deselect it, okay? So let's just try that again. Now, I need to move this, and see how it's kind of locked there? If I press that my space bar, it'll allow me to move it, but locks it into position. So I'm gonna keep my space bar pressed, get it into a better position, and then kind of move it again, like just kind of drag it again until I get it where I want it. And then I'll release it. I have my selection, I have my Move tool, and again, I'll just continue to cut these all out and go back and forth. So let's see on this next one. Okay, so again, I'm using that space bar, dragging it out, kind of getting it up in that corner so that way I can lock it down, letting it go. The shortcut is for my move tool is V. I like to use shortcuts as often as possible because it just kind of saves on time. So you'll notice that I'm not always going back and forth to click on the actual button. I'm just pressing. M is for the marquee tool. V is for the move tool. So again, that. Make sure you're not getting any of the white outside of some of this stuff. And I'm holding my mouse the entire time when I am moving things around. Okay, so you have to click and then just kind of hold. Okay, we have two things that will not fit in the whole perfect circle type of area. So one of the easier tools that we're going to use is the quick selection tool. Now notice that my brush is absolutely tiny. I do that for a reason. If it's this big, it's going to think that anything within it is what I want selected. So notice how it's too large. So I'm using my bracket keys. So to the right of my letter P, I have the left bracket that makes that brush smaller and the right bracket that makes it larger. But if I just kind of come over here, what it's doing, this tool is really great when the background is significantly different than what I want selected. So I just had to click one time on the red and it selected all the red and it even subtracted the stuff in the middle. So that's really great. So now I'm just going to grab my move tool and cut that straight out. Oops, I just realized that there was stuff that was still on there. So we don't want that, which is a good thing because now I can come over here, I can deselect that. Okay, so notice that this is still selected right here. I'm going to just press Control and D, or I can even, if I'd rather, go up to select and then deselect. Okay. We'll try that one more time. So the shortcut for the quick selection tool is W. I'm going to click on that one more time, pressing V to get my move tool, click and drag, bring that up here. So then starting to get all my toppings. Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to deselect this, so Control D, grab that quick selection tool again, click on a mushroom, you decide. So that one did not get all of it, if you can see that. So if I just continue to click kind of in the same area, it should get everything I want, okay? And you can get just one. You don't need to try to get them all. Again, V for my move tool, I'm going to click and drag and bring it to the pizza layer and drop it right into place. Okay, so at this point, this is pretty much what you want. You just want to kind of have everything just scattered and random there. We're going to put this together in the next exercise. So what you will do here is you will save this. So File, Save As. For this one, because you're turning it in, but you need to maintain the existing file. So we're going to turn this in as a Photoshop file. Okay, we're going to leave it just as that. So it should say pizza because that's what we called it. It's .psd. You are not typing that in yourself. You will click save. This will come up. Just pretty much ignore it. Click OK, and you are set for the next exercise. It's already set up for you. In fact, if you just left this open and continued working, that would be the best thing you could do.